This year, certain golf clubs in my bag have helped me play some of the best golf I've ever played. But moving forward into 2023, I want to make sure that these golf clubs are perfect for me moving forward to play even better golf. And as you can see, now's the perfect time. Let's take a look. So guys, looking in this golf bag, there are a couple of clubs that I've literally played all year and really enjoyed doing so. You'll remember that I have the Mizuno 223 irons in there. I'll have the TaylorMade P790 UDI, which has been an absolute weapon all year. I didn't actually get fitted for that. I just got it in the hazardous shaft, which seemed to work really well. I really enjoyed it. Obviously the Vokey wedges, which I got fitted for with Bob Vokey all those years ago and just kept with the same specs because I didn't really need to change much. TaylorMade stealth driver, but this is the one where I'm not sure if things have changed. I'm not sure if things have to change. Chris, how are you?
I'm alright, but the TV's not working.
Oh well, not a problem. You can see it is terrible weather outside, so this is the time of year to be looking at if you are going to change something for the new year. Chris, would you like to reveal that? Just show the guys what it is. So we went out to Carlsbad, California and spent some time, funnily enough, with the guys at TaylorMade.
Yep.
And we looked at their putting studio. What was the system that they used, wasn't it? So
Gears.
Gears. It looked at how the ball rolled, it looked how quickly the ball rolled.
They used a bit of Quintic as well, to get the ball rolling, show how it came off the putter. So.
And I love this putter. I'll overlay a couple of putts on screen that I've held all year. It's been good. It's probably been as good as a putter as I've ever used, but we always want that little bit more. And when I was using the gas system and we looked at how quickly the ball could roll, one of the things that the guys said was, right, we're going to take a little bit of loft off because your technique would suit a lower lofted putter because the ball will then roll quicker. You should get a truer roll. That should help you with dispersion, should help you with holding more putts and help you with distance control, which is something which so many people do need to think about. And then you look at all the different putters that you can go for, and I'm thinking, well, you know what, is a change as good as anything? Because maybe my strokes just got better thanks to a few lessons from this man.
See.
So is there a putter out there better suited to me that maybe I'm not going to hold more putts with, but I might 3-putt less, I might get better distance control, I may well just putt better throughout the year? A lot of people will be thinking, well, James, why would you change that now when you're in December and not a lot's happening? That's precisely why. We're in December, not a lot's happening. If I was going to change my putter for the season, that gives me plenty of time to get used to it, to put with it at home on a put-out mat or something like that, then be honed and ready for the new season. So let's hit some putts. Let's see if there's anything that I can change or might change. Bearing in mind, I don't really know what putters are coming out next year. I've seen a couple of releases from Scotty Cameron, but they're more limited and they're more blade-like, which I'm not sure I want anymore because I feel like that fang putter suits me to the ground. So I'm going to find this really interesting. You cold?
It's cold inside, to be honest.
It's freezing today. I'm going to find this really interesting, Chris, because I've really enjoyed this so far this year. I mean, you must admit I've held a lot of putts, even against you.
Unfortunately.
But just going to TaylorMade and just looking at that gasp system and seeing how if we take loft off it would help me, it's got me wondering, is there better out there? Is there something which I may be more consistent with? So we're going to have a look in here today and find out. Do you want me to hit a few putts first, or how do we do it?
The good numbers are my numbers to start with. But yes, we're going to hit some putts to start with, guys. But if you go for a putter fitting, do try and take your own golf ball, as silly as it is, but you're going to be getting the right feel off that ball. There's no good playing a Pro V1 all year and then turning up with a Pinnacle, or vice versa. Use the ball that you get off your face. But we've got to look at James's stroke. We're going to see what it does. Obviously, they mentioned about taking loft off, which, yes, you can do that. People don't maybe hear as much so with putters, do they, James? You know,
no, definitely not. I think a lot of people do think about generally driver more. So like this video, you'll notice I haven't said it's a putter fitting in the title because people don't care about it. Whereas if you did care about it maybe a little bit more, you may find that that's going to help your game more. So I'm going to go through my routine, go through everything like that.
Yeah, go through your routine, line the ball up, treat it as if you're on the putting green. Yes, it's artificial grass, but we still want to get the ball starting straight and having a chance. Good roll straight off there.
It was a good roll, it felt good.
Left.
And interestingly, one of the things that I found at TaylorMade when we were looking at the system, and I'll put it on screen now, I just kept holding putts.
Yep.
I did, and obviously it was a 15-foot flat putt inside, so if you don't hold any of those, you're probably struggling with your stroke anyway. But if you do find that you do start holding putts, it's important to know why, which is why we're here today, to find out why I was holding putts and potentially playing better.
And even on a straight, you know, you don't need to be much out. If you're a degree out from even 10 feet, you're more than likely going to miss the hole altogether, never mind catch a bit. So everyone says, oh, a straight putt's easy. I'd like a lot of people to stand on a straight putt and hole every putt. You're not going to. unless you've got a lot of time to practice and some great hand-eye coordination. So a good roll on that one.
Ooh, robbed.
Robbed. So we're hitting nicely up on the golf ball there. So James's path is a little bit to the left. So one big thing we could see there to highlight would be the path is working a little bit left. So we want to see why that is happening. Some of that is coming from setup. Setup also has effect of maybe hitting a little bit too much up on it, and he's also adding a lot of loft. So James has got his ball position a little bit too far forwards. Everything then gets a little bit left, and then we have to try and manipulate the face. And that's one thing that sometimes it's happened to James. He's got a little bit forwards, he's held it off. And because we're adding loft, one way to do it, and what we saw in TaylorMade at the fitting, yes, we can just take a little bit of loft off. That is an option, but that wouldn't be necessarily the option that I would go for. We've got to correct setup, get basics correct, and James should be able to return the correct loft. So a lot of numbers on the screen, guys, but it's going through the basics. So you can see James's alignment goes off. Sometimes it's harder in here, so that's better. There we go.
That left lip burning it every single time.
Yeah.
Do you often find that when you do these fittings in brackets, it turns into more of a lesson than a fitting?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're going to go through a little bit of techniques. We need to make sure the basics are right. James is just slipping a little bit there, so he's got to get that right. Otherwise, you know, we're fitting into what's on the day. So it does become a combination of both. So again, James's alignment can be a lot more to the right. So keep going around. Good.
Got one.
And see, even there, James probably felt like he was aiming to the right corner.
I did.
But we can see that his path is still 1.7 degrees to the left. Top pointing out there from James.
But again, I need to move that ball position back, don't I?
Correct.
It did skip as well. I felt like the ball did skip when I hit it. So you never, if you're on grainy greens, and that's going to massively affect where the ball goes.
Yeah, so we're going to get James to feel like his ball position is really far back here. It's not going to be that far back, but it'll feel to him it is.
Interestingly as well, this is what we've worked on for years and years and years, and coming towards the end of a season massively helps when you can think, well, you know what, I need to go and check up, I need to make sure that I can work on things correctly. Like, this feels so odd, but then it does almost feel...
So you can go back even more still.
Can I?
There you go.
That feels like a massive forward press, but...
So good, so there we've got him into the green, we're not hitting as much up, so you see we're 1 degree down, the path is now in your tour averages, face was a little bit open, and we're not adding as much loft. So we can start to see there, guys, we're working in the right direction. So when you go in for this fitting, when you're doing a checkup, it's a perfect time to do it in the winter, because it is one thing that you can practice in the house. If you've got carpets, it'd be a bit annoying if you was on a hard surface. I don't think the partner would be happy.
So, there.
Yep.
Wow.
So again, James, it's feel and real. So get an alignment stick down, guys. If you're practicing at home, you can put that between your legs to make sure that ball position doesn't move.
They're all just a touch left, aren't they, as well?
A touch left. So it's making sure, guys, when you are doing it for us now, we can have a check of where James is aiming the putter. Is it still a putter that he aims well? So let me just get the laser.
The laser. What's that off?
I don't know.
Austin Powers.
It's off Austin Powers, is that? Right, 2 seconds. So James is set up there now. And we can see aim is pretty good, so left centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
That's without lining it up as well. I'd normally line it up, but I've gone in kind of just...
gung-ho.
Yeah, more blind.
So we can see James is still aiming the putter well, so it is now just making sure that, again, that alignment... Oh! Had slipped a little bit left. But numbers are coming in there, so ball position instantly is helping. So the putter still works, it aims it in correctly, the length of the putter is good. We're just going to get him a little bit closer to the ball so we get the lie a little bit flatter.
And I must admit, sometimes I think people often go into club fittings and at the end of the season think, right, what can I change? They're excited about changing things. And this isn't something I'm excited about changing. To be honest, I was kind of hoping Chris would be able to work his magic on this, and just because putting hasn't been as good in the last few weeks as it has throughout the season, and that obviously must mean a breakdown of something. And I mean, the putter hasn't changed, has it? I've not thrown it around. It's not manipulated.
Close the stance again.
Close it.
Keep going. Keep going. Now square a little bit closer.
Closer.
To the ball. There we go.
Yeah, that feels better. I feel like I'm more upright now.
Yeah, so toes should be flat now. Path. That's good. So lie angle now, that is neutral. We're not hitting as much up. Loft is not as much. Path we can still work on.
So
really,
path still to the left, is it?
yeah, so let's feel like this one's feeling drastically out to the right. Laura, I'm feeling like I'm naming the camera lady. The camera person, sorry, if the camera person wants to come up here now, before James hits another one and ruins us these numbers,
Sorry.
we have got him right where we want to be. So for James, that's feeling like it's massively out to the right. He's feeling like he's closing it, and we was 0.4 with his path there, and his face control was much better. We're also not adding as much loft. Lie angle is better, and we're nowhere near as much up. So it's a feel and reel. James still wants to stand with a massive open stance.
Is that right then?
That is square.
You say this when we're playing though, don't you, as well?
Yeah, so a massive draw. That one it didn't pick up for us. Right, so feeling that draw.
Look at that for a roll. That was an incredible roll.
Great roll.
0.3.
0.3. Again, a lot more green on the board. So we're showing it's good to have a checkup. It's good to obviously go through your putting numbers. It's not always a new putter that is needed. It's simple things like James has slipped back into old habits, gets open,
Damn it.
wants to kind of push it onto target. The putter works left, he keeps it open. And that certainly happens when we're on slower greens. Sometimes in the winter you try and hit it a bit harder. You don't.
I'm going to blame the greens, I think.
Most people do, so we might as well.
There were only 13 on the stimp the other day in LA, so they're a bit slow.
Well, that is true.
So we've figured out what it is, and this is revolutionary for me because I'm thinking, how am I stood open? And then my hip has literally been way open, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So if I shut that hip down, and because we all think foot alignment, shoulder alignment, we never think hip alignment, and I probably stand open all the time anyway. So if I go square hips, that feels much better to just hit the putt and release it. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. A really quick video there, just showing that this putter is still right for me. This is probably the most important club in my golf bag, so the fact that it is right, I'll go and get it re-gripped this year. Maybe change the colour on something, I don't know. Yeah. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button below. Make sure you check out our new channel, Get Good at Golf, for if you do want to get a little bit better at golf throughout the off-season. And apart from that, see you all exactly the same time tomorrow. Bye.